do that. Wait. Take this off. And I should plan these ahead next time. That's for sure. But what's up, Chris? What's up, Chuck E. Cheese? We are live, man. We are live. We are live. Like it's a I'm gonna plan these out more. I'm just like sporadically putting out a live, just because. So I thought that's fun. Usually I put out a video on every day, 12 o'clock. I changed the schedule up a bit to Tuesdays or Wednesdays and Thursdays are kind of dead. So I thought I'd do some lives instead. So be patient. We know what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna go on live on my computer too and see if I can make sure I don't miss any questions. You do need to train abs. I've said different before in the past. I've actually said in the past you should be engaging your core when you're training anyway. And that's coming from a very, I would say like my confirmation bias is, thinking that everybody engages their core and is, knows how to do that. So I would definitely recommend train your core because it helps you feel your core. And obviously like when you're training anyway, make sure you're engaging your core. Let me get up here and make sure I don't miss a lot of these questions. Let's see any questions yet. I do need to make an announcement before. I will do that next time. I 100% will. You'll know. But let's put it this way. Because I'm not putting out videos on Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to do lives on Wednesdays and one of the days. So I'll let you guys know next time. So I'm not just sporadically putting a video out right now and hoping people will be around. So appreciate you guys. What's up, everybody? How you doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? We talked about abs already. How's that? I'm on the way. Oh, you know what, man? Like, I have it on my computer right now. Just link me up, man. I'll send it to you if you want me to. It's not mastered yet though, but what is up? What is up? All the way from Jersey Shore. What's good? Best low back strengthening exercise. By itself, I mean, like you do like basically hyper extensions are good to do. Treat them just the way you would with any other muscle group in terms of like your tempo, keeping it stretched and whatnot, etc. But there's other exercises you can do. Like what I like doing when I'm training back is I kind of like split up in three different ways to train back. Or three exercises would be like, a high pull or a high row, a horizontal row, then like some kind of a hinge row or hinge pull. And that hinge is going to be, it's going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm getting the contractions from doing like say bent over dumbbell, barbell, Smith machine, whatever row. And then I have the stabilization of an isometric hold with my erector. So like doing those, adding that in there, in your back days, you're going to basically get the best of both worlds. You're training your lower back as well too in the static hold, and you're training your back just from training your back. Best exercise for triceps, the one that you like, that hitting you the best. There's no best exercise. I would say any exercise that's gonna give you the most amount of stimulus, the least amount of fatigue, which is you shouldn't really get that much for doing triceps, but then getting a really good stretch. So any kind of movement where you can get a really, really good stretch of the muscle like here, and where it's like you're engaging your triceps as well too, while having that extension part of it. So like having it back here and like I think you've probably seen me, or definitely Mike, do tricep extensions with the straight bar, whatever, and pushing down, and the elbows are kind of going back first, and then riding up, you're kind of getting a stretch that way. There's different ways you could do tricep extensions, but like I said, anything where you can get a really good stretch in a good position where you can load the muscle without getting exhausted. So I would say like, close grip bench press is a good tricep exercise, but I don't think it's better than doing, I would say like a cable tricep extension, where you can really stretch the load and get a better range of motion. So my bad. Sorry I didn't have a better answer. What am I doing this thing? There you go, back. From Medellin, or is it Medellin? What's going on with that pill Greg was trying to sell? I don't know, man. He's going to keep doing what he's doing, so If you guys check it out. Right now, actually, head over to, not right now because you're on live with me. Go to Mark Bell's Power Podcast. I was on his podcast a few weeks ago, and it's just out today. Just watching it. It's actually really, really good. We cover everything. Everything. They've asked me questions, and I said I'll be open to anything that ask. And it's very transparent. Very good video. We talk about training, mental health, some success stories, some things I've been through in my life. There's a bunch of stuff there, so I'll go check it out. It's enjoyable. It's funny. It's actually hilarious. I'm not feeling my chest when doing incline dumbbell press. What might be doing wrong? Well, number one, so when people say that to me and they're like, I can't feel my chest, there's a couple things that come to my mind when you can't. Because like when I think of doing chest, dumbbells, it's a very good exercise for you to feel your chest. So if you're not, a couple things might be happening. Number one, I feel like sometimes when you're benching or pressing that, our shoulders ride up too high and we're getting a lot of anterior delt, not as much chest as we should. And the triceps are doing a lot more of the work than the chest is, right? So I would say, like, again, like when you're doing it, to try to do your best to like keep your chest, or you like almost like bow your chest a bit when you're pressing. And then on the way down, you're getting that stretch. Try and keep your shoulders like down. Like try and pinch the middle of your traps. Like not the top part. Like when I say pinch the middle, like when people like say like I say like I'm gonna cue pinch your upper traps, like here. People do this, right? If I say pinch your middle of your chest, of your scaps, you do this, right? You naturally kind of stretch your chest. So at the bottom of your lift, you're getting a lot of good stretch down there, and it's gonna naturally kind of keep your shoulders down. And then when you're pressing, again, think of pressing yourself into the ground. The other I think issue people have when they're pressing is when they press, they continue like this and they protract, right? And when you protract this way, like if they try it, like you guys watching right now with me, if I do this, like if I protract, if you feel your chest, it's not as engaged as it is if it's back like this, right? You can still engage your chest if you're adducting, right? Of course. But if I'm pushing like this, I'm not getting much activation here. And even if I'm pressing on something, I'm getting activation, but not as much as I would if my shoulders stayed down. And again, think about push yourself into the ground. So keep your scaps, I would say, retracted to help yourself feel your chest more. I hope that works. If anything, make sure you're riding your negative as long as you can, not as long as you can, like 3 seconds. Like if you 1001, 1002, 1003, let that sit in that, stretch, that lengthen and contraction, and open your chest and then press. I think that you would start probably feeling a little more if you maybe, slowed your rep down a bit. You're eccentric. Holy Name Knights, what's up? What up, man? What up? That's my old high school, man. How lean should I get before starting a bulk cycle or bulk meso? How lean should you get? Man, are you like? It's such a different answer. Like I can say like 10% body fat is when you should go, and then my issue I have with like bulking and cutting is like I've only did that for bodybuilding. When it comes to just like not building anymore, and I'm in the process right now of starting I'm at the start of my meso, my build phase, right? I'm trying to build more muscle. I'm not thinking about how much more food I need to eat, more so than just keeping my calories at a good enough, I would say amount that I'm covering the basics in terms of like, I'm covering my energy needs, I'm covering my protein needs, and, I'm creating a good stimulus, and then I'm getting my rest and whatever. But if anything, I wouldn't bulk if I didn't see visible muscle everywhere, right? Like and again, when we're talking about bulking, then, I would say like bulk in terms of, 250 calories. I wouldn't increase your calories to, 500 calories. That just wouldn't make any sense because you'd put on more fat than would muscle. Hey, I'm on a live. All right. So yeah. But if anything, don't bulk if you're don't bulk or get into a surplus if you're visually have body fat on you. Like, I'm talking like excess. Ugh. What do you do for cardio? I do aerosol bike, stepper, walk, something, and like the stuff that I like. That's what I like to do. If I had to choose only one thing for cardio for the rest of my life, like it didn't that didn't not including actually walking outside because I like walking, it would be stepper. I just love it. I don't know why. I think it's gonna walk to the beat. Johnny, what's good, brother? Where'd you get your glasses? I got them at Sunglass Hut. I was looking for a pair of blue light glasses. I got eye surgery a couple years ago. I've been wearing glasses my entire life. Like, I have glasses like this. Like, you want to see something funny? Let me show you something, all right? I have glasses. I've had glasses like this my entire life. And when I got surgery, taking care of my eyes is like, super serious. Even more now. So that's why I have blue light glasses. So because I'm in front of a screen all the time. But let me show you something really funny. I think I did this last time, but if you weren't here last time, here you go. Yes, that's me. That is me. Glasses. Like, those guys look familiar, don't they? Right? All right, that's enough of that. That's enough. So, yeah. Sunglass Hut. Hey, Johnny, greetings from nice. Uruguay, what's up? Is Daiut... Oh, it's Daiut in Oregon. I think I spoke... I don't know what language I spoke. Maybe something like German. Was that good enough? Or are you laughing? Hey, Johnny. I've been training for 1.5 years now, and I'm getting somewhat confused with all of the periodization. Sorry, periodization and optimal splits. Is all of that really necessary? Nope. I said it. I said it. It is not necessary to go that crazy. Let me tell you something. You don't have to overcomplicate things. Really easy. You can do like train hypertrophy, find exercises that you like the best, that you connect with the most. Find a split that you can actually commit to. Stick within the rules and the philosophies, or I would say like like hypertrophy, and then change it every 6-8 weeks, and then do a little like strength block, right? So like, put it this way, you're doing like longer sets because you're in hypertrophy. You're not training as heavy as like strength, so you're doing like a very moderate but challenging weight. You do that for a bit, and all of a sudden you take those same exercises, and now you speed your rep up and you add more weight in the strength phase. And then you go back and forth like that. And then in the middle of each time you change, your split or whatever, not split, your meso, do it like a deload if your body calls for it. If you're like, if you've just done, say, 8 weeks even, or 8, 10, 12 weeks, you spent trying to build your muscle, and then, take like a week of like a deload, or just a week off completely, and then do a strength phase. But you don't have to like overcomplicate it. I get it, and I can, it's a really good question. You do not have to do that. What's important is that you just stay consistent and make sure that you're creating a good, large enough stimulus to elicit muscle growth. So, the biggest thing is creating a stimulus, making sure you're resting, and make sure you can actually recover, make sure you're getting your nutrition in, calories, make sure you get enough protein, etc. Right? So like, we don't have to overcomplicate things that much at all. So I worked out fasted 3 weeks, 3 times a week for 30 to 45 minutes. Haven't seen much growth. My question is, 1, do you think it's smarter to fast every day, or should I fast on the days that I'm not working out? So I'm going to say a couple of things. There's a lot of answers. There's a lot of things that I don't know. Variables that could be contributing to you not building muscle. For all I know, you could be like 10 years deep into your training, and you're just creating more muscle is just not going to be like that easy to do. But I can say, if you're training, I'm not judging. I'm only taking what I'm reading. If I'm reading that you're in the gym 3 times a week for 30 to 45 minutes, I'm hoping that those 30 to 45 minutes are like very efficient and you're doing enough to elicit muscle growth. But then after that, how are we eating? Are we make sure we're eating enough calories, eating enough protein, resting, all those things? Are we doing that as well? Drinking water? And then if we're doing all those things too, it's like it could be another one as well as 3 days a week. If you're training 3 days a week, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday type thing, and is that what you're doing? If you're doing like I had a consult the other day and someone said he was training 3 days a week, or he's doing a 3-day split. Come to find out he was doing basically a push-pull legs. He was just doing, he's training every 3 days on, 1 day off, 3 days on, one day off. So if you're training, say like a traditional 3-day a week where it's like a full body split and you're doing like, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you might just need to add another day in to be able to get the most amount you can out of muscle hypertrophy, which would require you to train, at least that muscle group twice a week. So there's some other things there that, do me a favor. If you want to, book yourself a consult with me, 30 minutes. At the end of the consult, they talk off into package that you pick. And we can go over the things that you're actually talking about in depth and get some clear answers, actually. Advice for skinny, fat people. Muscle. Put on muscle. The reason why people get skinny fat, number one, coming from that they're bigger, is that they cut calories way too quick and they're not doing enough in terms of muscle growth, as well as like protein intake, and then they lose all the weight and they are left with not much muscle, right? So when it comes to people who are skinny fat, or anybody really for that matter, is if you're trying to lose weight or whatever your goal is, you should be always trying to either add muscle or keep that muscle strong. In whatever direction you're going, whether you're losing weight or putting on, make sure that you're eating enough protein and training to build muscle. How do you work on the middle of your chest? So don't overcomplicate that thing either, right? You can train the middle of your chest by doing flat bench, 15-degree incline, 30-degree incline. You're still gonna work your chest. The chest in itself, the entire chest connected to the same place, and they pull your arm in. So if I train this part of my chest, this part of my chest is still working. If I train this part of my chest, this part of my chest is still working. You might prioritize where the load goes first, and you will definitely grow the muscle in those areas. But if I say like I only train if I only train here, it's not like I wouldn't get much growth here. I would still get growth, but not as much here. But if you want to train your middle of the chest, it's very simple. It's just like 15. I think your best incline is 15-degree. I find that it's a good incline. It's good enough incline to really hit the entire priorities of where people lack the most in their chest, which is usually middle chest to upper chest. Why, what? It's a good question. I'm going to answer it. Question: how does one get their wife on board to you taking steroids? Okay, wait. Okay, cool. I thought I was reading how do you get your wife on board to taking steroids. Don't. Let's not have our wife doing steroids. Number one, if your wife doesn't want you to be on steroids, it's probably because she's probably heard some nightmare stories or maybe misinformed. But as well too is, I'm assuming if you're saying wife that you're maybe 30 and older, maybe? I don't know. But I would just, if anything, I would educate. Number one. Two, do you need to take steroids, right? If you're at a place in your life, and I'm telling you right now, if you're my age and you want to take steroids and your wife's like, no, heard too many stories, it's not safe, blah, 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 and you don't actually have to take anything, like if your testosterone is healthy, like not healthy just for your age, but healthy, like you're waking up with a solid, you know what I mean, on a regular, then your wife has every right to not want you to take steroids, and I'm going to agree with her. But if you need to, if that's something that your doctor's been like, hey man, like, or you've got tested and you're like, you have low testosterone and you haven't been waking up with and you're like, hey wife, baby girl, like I would say like, bring her to the doctor with you, or just try to educate her and be like, hey, this is going to be beneficial for both of us. It's because it is, because trust me, if you actually need it, and you got to get on it. Your wife will be high-fiving you later, hopefully. See a lot of faster heel shoulder with BBC 500. Yes, it works. It's really good too. I do recommend it. I thank you for answering that question, Chuck. Do I have improper form when bench pressing, either inclined? Definitely inclined. Definitely improper form. I get elbow pain. Elbow pain doesn't mean it's bad form, because it just means you've been like overloading too much and it needs a break. Or it could be just like, tennis elbow or whatever. But I will always check first with form and take a rest for a bit and then get diagnosed by, a PT or someone first before, just continuing to go and make it worse. What's happening with me or Greg? Nope, we're not. Just not anything. What's your next venture / competition? I don't know yet. I do know I have some goals, and that is like I was just collaborating with Phil DeRue a couple weeks ago, and every time I'm down with those guys, and I was with Cameron Shane too, and every time I'm down with some Jimmy House, I get more and more inspired to continue to be the best functional athlete I can be at my age and moving forward. Like, I want to continue to be able to have great cardio, great mobility functionality. I want to be able to sit in a ring and fight if I had to. So that's what's on the board. Now, I am going to be honest. I did message the Master Olympia because I saw that they're in the Olympia this year again. It's in Vegas, but it's biannual. So I was like, if I don't have to requalify for the Olympia, I will definitely do the Masters again if I don't have to requalify. Now, I got the message back. She said, I don't have to requalify. The top 5 do get invited back, but it's biannual. It's next year. So I don't think where I want to bring my body is going to be further and further away from being on stage. Although I'm genetically gifted enough that I look like a bodybuilder all of the time. So you never know. 2025, I might be on the Master Olympia stage again. And I'll be like a real master because I'll be like 42, which is crazy. Jeez. AJ, is there a freaking free app to help a newbie at training and what to do? Watch my videos. It's free. I don't know if there's a free app. Muscle. I use Muscle in Motion for some of the graphics I use. That's a really good app that you can use. That can just teach you how the body really works. It's a really great tool. It's not free though. I think some of it's free, but if you want like the extra kit, I think a lot of apps now are like, they're just giving you the bare bones and make you pay. So do your best to keep on watching my videos, man. Do you think it's dangerous to start doing the overhead phones with pre-existing, overhead presses, sorry, my bad, with pre-existing shoulder injuries? I wouldn't. If you have pre-existing shoulder, like I have pre-existing shoulder issues, but I can still overhead press. I find that, like, people look at like, should I be overhead pressing? You should be able to do this regardless with your hand, right? So I think for anything, it would be like, switch your focus to like, do you need to overhead press for shoulders? You don't. You really don't. You can do, if anything, if you're really trying to like work your lateral head of your delts or your delts, you can do those in accessory exercises, and you're hitting the most of your, anterior delts and a little bit side delt while doing like a higher incline. But I would be very careful in overhead pressing if you have pre-existing injuries that aren't fully completely healed. But anything, I would just switch your focus to pressing, to just having good mobility in your shoulders, period. Because there's no point of having strong shoulders and you can't reach behind your neck and grab your collar. So like, and I've had that before, and that's kind of embarrassing. Hey bro, any advice on skinny fat? We saw that already. Question, does contracting on the gluteus maximus while shaking and bouncing it cause more of it jiggles, or does it make it less jiggly? Right. Hey, your videos are the best. Thank you, man. Hey, can you do some more videos on best and worst shoulders? Yes, I will. Thank you. 100% I will. What are your thoughts on, I don't know what that is. 191. Don't know what that is. Read down for me again. There's a but guys, I'm going really slow with this. My bad, because I'm at the top here and there's a lot of questions. I got to get down to them. Johnny, next Tuesday, my doctor is putting me on HRT regimen. Oh, nice. I'm 38 and I've been working out consistently for 2 years. What benefits will I see immediately? And what are some of the negative sides? Well, if your doctor is prescribing you HRT, I'm assuming because you have low test, and the benefits from that are going to be like, HRT isn't for you to get stronger. HRT is for you to get yourself back to a better baseline, because they have found that your low testosterone is linked to mental health, like depression and whatnot, your immune system, overall quality of life. So when you're doing HRT is something that, you should be looking forward to the quality of life you're going to get back from it. But there's also the obvious effects of being able to you'll definitely be able to put on a little more muscle tissue, a little easier, I would say. I won't say easier, but like more efficient if you weren't, if you had low testosterone before. So there's obviously the cosmetic benefits of HRT, along with the psychological benefits, the, the mental health benefits and whatnot. Thank you for ever giving me $6. I really appreciate that. I actually do. So yeah, I mean, just think of like, overall quality of life will definitely increase, and then like obviously with muscle. Should you change? Uh-oh, I missed somebody. My bad. A picture set of neutral grip lat pull down attachments. I'm really liking them, man. Nice. But I'm losing grip strength. Don't use them until your grip gets weak, and then use them. Sorry guys, I'm trying to like really get these questions. I'm gonna go down a bit, and oh my god, there's a ton of questions down here. My bad. Speak French. Hey Johnny, are waiting 5 days to repeat a muscle too long? Hope you can answer that. Yes, I find. I mean, science says it. Like it's like if you sit in the principles of hypertrophy, if you're training properly to just build muscle, you should be able to train each muscle group every 2 days, to be honest, right? Make sure, like, depending, like, everything else is in line, like with your nutrition, your recovery, your sleep, and stuff like that. But I don't think you need to rest 5 days unless you've literally just annihilated yourself in some kind of like, no, you don't need 5 days, all right? You don't, right? If you think of like 6 days, if you think of like push pull legs, right? You're push pull legs. You're training, muscle group every like 3 days at most. So I didn't get that. Quiet, Siri. Does brown bread affect the muscle growth? No. It doesn't. Hi Johnny, do you think dumbbell leg extensions are good for quad growth? I don't have an access to. Yeah, like, gotta understand, like, guys, remember, an exercise is really a movement pattern, right? Leg extensions is just knee extension. So however you can load the quad that way is going to be good. If you don't have a leg extension machine, it's completely fine. You can do dumbbell leg extensions. You can do deep lunges, either reverse or front foot elevated, like you guys see me do before. You can even do leg press. Like, I'm sure if you don't have a if you don't have a leg extension machine, you probably don't have the things I just said. But yes, for sure. And I'm thinking that you probably have one of those attachments that allows you to do it with your feet. 100%. You can do dumbbell hamstring curls, dumbbell leg extensions. 100%. You can definitely do that. You do with cables. I mean, with not cables, with resistance bands. Is it beneficial to do full body workouts each day or dedicate a day each muscle? Depends. So like, if you're gonna do a full body workout, for me, that means like you probably don't have the time, or like it's just the time you commit to. If you're gonna do a full body workout, most of the time a full body is gonna be like, a Monday, Wednesday, Friday type thing, or like, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, something where you have like time in between, because you don't want to train your entire body every day. It's just not good for recovery, right? So if your schedule allows you to train each muscle group twice a week, I would say start from 4 days a week and then you'll go to 5. But you don't have to. I wouldn't recommend training your entire muscle, your entire body in one day every single day. It's not efficient. Hey Johnny, do you think double X? Oh, I told you that already. We're going up here, guys. You're black, don't talk. Well, Sonny, I'm talking, and I'm black. What's the deal with Cali Muscle? I don't know. I don't know. I think actually John Bravo did a video, and here's what I honestly think. I honestly think that Cali Muscle, he got one of those rude awakenings that I don't wish on anybody, right? At all. And he had a heart attack, and it kind of brought him to a place of like awareness that, life is not, guaranteed. So I think that he's just trying everything. And I think I would do the same thing, but I would do a little more educated, really. But I think he's doing everything in the world he can to lengthen his life, and he's trying so many different things. So I think, all the things that he's trying to do, if you look at it, to the core of it, it's supposed to help lengthen his life. So I think that he's just doing those things and just doing them at a, just without really truly researching those things. So that's what I think's up with Cali Muscle. Hey bro, from India, do you love India? I love everybody. I haven't been there yet, but I got some friends from India, so I love India. How can one train like an athlete in a safe manner? Train like an athlete doesn't mean you don't have to be safe. Training like an athlete just means like being like functional. Like think about athletic training. I was just talking to a friend of mine earlier about this. When it comes to like athletic training, if you think about like bodybuilders or anybody who's like doing the act of bodybuilding, whether you're going on stage or you're not, or you're just doing a transformation, you're just training. You're training muscles, right? You're sitting down and you're pushing stuff, right? You're pushing and lifting things. Training like an athlete means you're actually like moving your body in an athletic way, right? You're running, you're bounding, you're doing like lateral stuff, you're doing plyometrics. You can do those things very safely, right? It's the ballistics of athletic training that kind of is not necessarily the safest thing to do if you're not an athlete. Meaning, doing like heavy, cleans and snatches or deads and squatting, right? Training like an athlete doesn't mean you're doing something that's safe. It just means you're doing things that are a lot more functional. You're doing more multi-joint facet things. Like I said, you're running, you're bounding, you're, using a ladder, you're throwing a ball or something, right? So just think of that. You can definitely incorporate athletic training into your life for sure. I did the same thing. I used to do this program at World Gyms called Athletics, and it was basically like a CrossFit class. And I quickly realized that not everybody can do CrossFit, obvious. And people coming off the street that try and CrossFit is just not the smartest thing either. So what I did was, instead of like doing a CrossFit class, I would break down the movements, teach the movements, and then perfect the movements, and then put them into certain like little circuits that they can actually achieve, and then scale from there. And I really my whole slogan was turning average into athlete. I think everybody, to be honest, I think everybody should be training like an athlete as well as building muscles well too. I think that we missed the mark. And my athletic life took a back seat to bodybuilding for almost a decade, really decade. Before that I was a athlete, seasoned athlete all of the time. So when you look at your training, if you look at periodization or for an athlete, right? And I'm a strength and conditioning coach, and before I was coaching bodybuilders and transformation, whatever, I was coaching athletes. And if you look at a full year of periodization, and we'll take it just from like when the season's finished, your season finished, you go through a phase of like basically of like a healing type phase. Then you get into like your first build phase, because there's some muscle that you probably lost throughout the season. And you need to get, you need to add more muscle on, right? Then you have like your strength phase, like you go through a build phase and you go through the strength phase and you go through like a performance phase and then you're back into your season, right? So I think that if anything, when it comes to, and if someone asked earlier about like, should you be training your periodization? I think that you should be incorporating athletic stuff into your training, because a lot of people who are training right now aren't thinking about, maybe some people right now are, but a lot of people who are watching this, I would assume, really aren't thinking about what their life's going to look like in 10 years, right? Like, what does 50 years old for me look like? Like, what is my priority going to be when I'm 50? Is it going to be, I want to make sure I got a six pack, or is it going to be, I want to make sure I can run around with my daughter? Because by the time I'm 50, my kid's going to be 15, right? So, oh my gosh. Thinking about that. Right, she'll be in school, she'll be playing sports. I want to be able to do this stuff still. So, what's a great bench and a nice chest if I can't run around with my kid, right? So you have to start thinking about those things, and I would definitely incorporate some of those things. Or if you're not training for that, I would say like join something where it's making you not become, but like it's making you athletic. That helps. I went off on a tangent there. Sorry, guys. Well, that's a big question. We had a question here that someone paid for. My bad. Is two exercises for all all parts of the chest, upper chest, whatever, in one session too much or an appropriate amount? Yes. You can do one. You literally can do one, right? But if you're gonna do whatever, two for sure, 100% you can do two. Two will definitely. Put it this way: if you did 15-degree incline and then did cable flies coming from low, high to low, you would have hit your entire chest, right? And then taking those, maybe take one of those sets to failure and the rest of those sets to close to like a 7-8 RPE, or a couple reps from reserve, and I think there'll be more than enough for your chest to be stimulated to grow, for sure. Hope I answered that question. Dumb question. Nothing's ever a dumb question. Do you still use the calories burned from a fasted workout session to subtract from the calories you consume afterwards? That is not a dumb question at all. That is a very, very good question that I'm trying to wrap my head around. The calories that you are burning most of the time aren't the calories that you've eaten in the day, right? So I think there's a big misconception when it comes to the calories they think that they're using. Like if I eat right now, I'm not using those calories when I train. I'm going to use the calories that I've eaten, the meal a couple hours ago, right? So like when you've burned, let me make sure I've read that question right. Can you still use the calories burned from the fasted workout session? Yeah, again. So, and I did a video on calories and macronutrients that is going to go out, and it's pretty funny actually. I try to make it very entertaining for people who actually want to sit through and watch. But when it comes down to it, you gotta understand that when like your body's using calories all day long, right? When you're training, like your body uses calories when it trains. Your exercise, your total daily energy expenditure, right? Your calories are being used all day, whether it's training, whether it's sleeping, whether it's whatever, it's being used all day long. So that's why we make sure that we're eating enough calories and eating enough protein and having those without at least on 3 to 5 meals a day. But to think that your calories that you've used already in the morning, you have no more calories anymore, is a very, I would say, common thought, right? The calories you're using to work out are the calories that you have consumed over the last 24 hours, right? So just hit that home. Make sure you guys understand that, right? When you eat, like that's why a lot of people like when they eat, they'll do a refeed or whatever, and then they'll be like, I'm gonna do cardio to get this, these calories off. It's like that's not how it works, right? Your body's using the calories that it's been consumed hours prior. Not a dumb question, buddy, at all. How to get out of here? Shoot. There you go. Oops. Let me unplug this. There you go. Tissues, thank you, Johnny. I've been working out for 1 year and I'm in the best shape of my life so far. Awesome. The YouTube algorithm brought your channel and watch. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you for watching. But like, thank yourself. You're absolutely killing it. I know you probably are because you're gonna do what I'm gonna say right now, but make sure you're rewarding yourself. Make sure you're acknowledging the work that you're doing and giving yourself the praise, right? For me to put out content is one thing. For you to actively search for something that you know that is gonna benefit your life and doing it, amazing. Oh, Sunny, we got one of those weird guys on there. I'm gonna read it to you guys. This guy's Sunny on here. This is hilarious. Let me show you guys. This is what I get. But Sunny wrote, "You're just like your mom. You're just like your mom. You're just like your mom. You're just like my mom." I'm similar to like my mom. My mom is a reverend and she's freaking like strong as hell. So like, Sunny, appreciate you. Tara said you is black. I definitely am. Last time I checked, more like brown. My shirt's black. How can one train like an athlete? You said that already. India, we're going up again, guys. We're going up. We're going up. Hey, Johnny, do me a favor, guys. I'm going back down on the bottom. I'm going to try and read these again. So, like, let's keep her going. Hey, Johnny, think of a problem. I haven't had a sore muscle for a while. I'm still a beginner that started going to the gym 3 weeks ago. I do 5 days a week, and somehow I don't feel anything. So that means your body's acclimated to it, right? You're like, soreness isn't the best indicator of if you're growing or not, or if you're building muscle. What a good indicator is do you feel a pump when you work out? Can you visually see your body kind of like your muscles swelling? Those are good signs of hypertrophy. Hoping that you're feeling sore after isn't a good indicator. Being sore is something that happens when you either haven't trained for a while and you just try a new stimulus happens, or you're doing again like a new stimulus, like you and a different movement, whatnot. But when your body gets used to training, like it acclimates to it, that soreness isn't really present. I don't get that sore at all anymore. My chest actually is super sore because the last, I would say, month I've been traveling and my training has been like very strength training. Again, I was doing Phil Duro's a brutal boxing program. So I've been doing a lot more strength than I have been hypertrophy. So my first hypertrophy session was on Monday, and my chest feels like it's like someone just it hurts in a good way, right? But that's gonna go away, and I'm probably not gonna feel that way for a while. What I want to feel is a pump and visual swelling. Those are really good indicators of hypertrophy. I'm overweight a lot. I lost 30 pounds, but I am now stuck at a plateau, eating 1,700 calories. Any tips? Let me ask you this. How much, I feel like you might weigh a lot more than you're consuming. And because of what you might have been doing and the calories you're eating is probably why you've plateaued. I'm just guessing that because I get that all of the time. I got somebody to pay for a question here. Respect. Are you down to collaborate in the future? Thanks. New to YouTube and have always looked up to you. Will be a pleasure to work with you. Yeah. Man, I feel like I'm one of the few people out there that don't care how many subscribers that you have. Honestly, like what I do remember very, very frankly to this day is I never had from Canada, number one, I never had someone put me on. You know what I mean? I didn't have like a big, I wasn't like, even though I was an up and coming bodybuilder, I didn't have like clout. Like I wasn't like popular. So there wasn't like a bunch of other channels like watch out for Johnny coming up or whatever. And you know, for those who did give me a look when I didn't have that many followers, for me is like pay it forward like 100%. So yeah, for sure. I think I get it. It's a very business thing. There are some people who will not collaborate with me because I don't have X amount of subscribers. I get that, but that's not me. And I think that just kind of like I get how it's a business thing, and it's like, yo, you know, it's obviously I'm gonna be doing you more of a favor than you're doing me, but like that's life. I think that's the beauty of life is knowing that you can actually bless somebody like that. So, yeah, hit me up. Email me. Go to my site. I don't know if I have my email. Go in the comment section or the description. Email me and we'll get something set up. Oops. 874. What's up? What modifications would you suggest for my 3-day gym workout? I have my man. Unfortunately, I have no clue what you're doing other than I know that you're doing 3 days a week. So for all I know, you could be doing everything really good. So give me more on that. And I won't be able to answer that totally completely. Guys, I'm not trying to give you like a sales pitch at all, but just to be honest, like I'm not gonna be able to answer all these questions, but I will literally answer every one of your questions if you book yourself a consult with me. It's 100% worth it. It's me like this. We talk about whatever it is that you have questions about: training, nutrition, supplementation, mental health, you know, mentorship. If you're even like a YouTuber, you want some ideas or some help, whatever, book that consult. And at the end of the consult, I deduct off the consult from any package you pick, right? So if you want a plan after that, then $100 off a plan. But that just because some of the questions that I get, guys, they're very like vague questions, right? And I want to answer those questions. I really, really do want to answer those questions. I just can't. Doing this right now, I'd love to, but like I actually have to finish this, and I got some stuff to do in my day. So usually when I do a video on a Wednesday, it's already recorded and done, and then bam, right? So either way, I love doing this. Sorry, so I'm gonna pay for this question, so I can answer it. I do see the pump, awesome, but I feel like I'm doing my exercises wrong. My friend said I should rest for 3 days and then go back and train 5 days beginner. Huh? So the problem listening to friends is that they know just as much as you do when it comes to training. Remember this quote. This is a quote from Greg, actually. One of the ones that stuck with me. All someone has to do is know 5% more than you, and you think they know everything when they might only know 5% of the thing they're talking about, right? That's part I added on there. Either way, no, you should be like, yeah, like when you're a beginner, I don't recommend going to the gym 6 days a week because, and here's the reason why. Because you're new to it. You're going to get a serious case of delayed onset of muscle soreness, DOMS. And then you're going to be like out of the gym for longer than you want to. And then you're like, oh, then you might not go to the gym. So like when it comes down to it, you know, slowly get yourself into the gym. Then once you're in the gym full and your body's not getting super sore at all anymore, that's when you kind of like turn things up and continue. You don't need to rest. As long as you only need, a muscle group needs 48 hours, right? To heal, right? You do not need to more than that. Now, if you're training to absolute failure, or you're training in a strength block where you're powerlifting and you've really did it to yourself, yeah, you might want to give yourself another day, but it's not necessary to rest 3 days. You know, if you're not healed in 2 days, rest a third day for sure. But yeah. We're going back to the bottom again, guys. Oh my God, you guys are awesome. I gotta do this all the time. My bad. There's all these questions here, and I'm like answering one. I gotta scroll all the way down. Dang. My bad. I'm gonna keep going from here. Effing hate applesauce. Who's saying that? I guess someone's saying I got a bunch of. So the next time I'm here, I'll make sure I got a moderator to keep out some of these people here. Yeah, he's gonna say that. Who cares? Look, Look, man. There's several things you have to understand about this platform. I'm gonna say this and say it with confidence. If you say stuff about other people, you have to be fine with people saying stuff about you. You have to be. I've had people make comments, ignorant ass comments and whatnot, and I get it. But guess what? I put myself out there. I'm on this platform. So if I decide to say something, do something, express how I feel, show myself, show my emotions, I've people made comments still, like even on the Power Project, and there's someone made a comment, it's like, oh guys, he was cool until he just cried for whatever. It's like, I'm an emotional dude. I am. I'm a very emotional guy, and I got no problem showing my emotions. But I expect people to react to it, negative or positive. That's just this space. You have to be okay with that. If you're not okay with somebody commenting negatively, rude, bigotry, if you're, look, you got to be cool with the bad comments just as well as you're cool with the good comments. So you're on this space and you're talking about somebody, then you should be cool with someone talking about you. And if you respond in a way where, you know, you're pissed that someone said something about you when you talk about other people, you know, it's just like you can't have it. You can't have it one way, right? That's just my take on that. What is the path you recommend to become a good coach? Be always willing to learn. Always willing to learn. Never stop learning. Never stop being a student. There's my biggest one. Never stop being a student. Right after that, make sure you're always practicing all the things that you're learning. Applying them to yourself first before you apply them to somebody else. I've done literally every diet. I've tried every diet. I've tried almost every diet. I'm lying there. I'm taking it back. I've tried almost every diet. I've tried every exercise that I've done. You know, I've tried every type of training that there, you know what I mean? So I feel the things myself, so then I know, oh, hey, oh,
Huh?
yeah, I saw your message.
Yeah. She's not eating now, so they're doing palliative care.
Oh, how old? She's like 90,
And she's maybe she's 99.
99? Man, that's a good life. I mean,
Not really, not the last.
no, not the last years, but that's basically gonna be my dad.
Hopefully your dad doesn't have.
Hopefully. I hope. You can only pray. All right, I'll see you later. Sorry guys. But anyway, make sure you're applying those things that you learn, and then be really good at listening to your clients. Listen to what they need. Those are my 3 biggest things. They only ask for one, so I'm good today, man. Thank you for asking. Hello, brother. Neutral grip or normal grip, which is better for bench press? What? Neutral grip or normal grip for bench press? Oh, for dumbbells. Oh, neutral grip or regular pronated grip, to be honest. I think a neutral grip would be more for if you're doing like a close grip bench, and not close grip like this. I mean like close grip where you can actually bring the dumbbells to your side that way. I find that this is gonna give you a lot more hypertrophy in terms of your chest, range of motion, right? And if you're saying that doing neutral grip like this, that's completely fine too. It really is. If you're doing neutral, like that's fine. This is fine. It's almost like you're doing a dumbbell fly press type thing. Hey John, I'm 51 and I'm seasoned lifter. Oh, we got a question here. That's a question real quick. Seasoned lifter. I haven't weight trained in about 4 months. I have a mental block on getting back to it because of the soreness. Any advice? A mental block? I would say number one, find out take some time to think and dedicate what days that you can actually, how many days you can actually go and commit to the gym first. And then start off doing the most basic stuff that you did before. Like do your basic lifts, your basic bench, your basic shoulder press, your basic, squat patterns and whatnot. Slowly get into that. And it's like, and just, progressive overload the movements, not weight, not reps, just like, movements and like maybe some in terms of like days. Get on here and watch some of these videos as much as you can and just, get some ideas. I just some advice, but take it slow, right? How old am I? Noah, I am going to be 41 in July. Own that shit. 41, man. That's right. Let me answer this question really quick. Oops. Is there a proper form on bench press on a Smith machine? I'm trying to prevent any shoulder injuries. I know there is a free motion on a regular bench. Is there a proper form on bench press? Honestly, a proper form? I've done a ton of videos on that, but I literally go. I'll do it myself right now. Let me see. If you go on my YouTube and say, look up Johnny Shreve, literally type in Johnny Shreve chest, and I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of stuff that just came up on chest. Yeah, and recently. But yeah, if anything, when it comes to shoulder injuries and chest, I find that shoulder injuries happen with chest when we're overloading the muscle too much most of the time. And then, having your shoulders riding up too much. Keep your shoulders down as much as you can, keep your shoulders depressed. And then, you can have yourself out here, but like, again, when we're kind of like this and pressing and we're not, pushing with the full range of motion, or like your alignment is off, plus load is too heavy or too heavy control, then we get into some injury with your shoulders. But check those videos out. I have a ton of them. A ton. Scott, any familiarity or tips for dealing with loose skin? I'm 42 and my loose skin just won't tighten up after dropping maybe. So loose skin, so a couple things. So loose skin is one of those things that happen from extreme weight loss without adding muscle as well too. So I have a few athletes who have, went through that fat loss journey, and their loose skin is very, very minimal. Like it's actually one, none at all. There's sometimes it's unfortunate that that's just what you're left with from that kind of weight loss. I'm not assuming that you did a dirty, or not dirty, I was in dirty bulk, but a extreme weight loss. But I'm just like, I don't know how much it is, but like as we get older, our skin's not going to be as tight. That collagen is going to be as much as before. Now, I would say that if it's not as bad as you think it is, or whatever, I would say that, now where's the loose skin? Number one. Two, I would say make sure we're building muscle that can help with tightening those areas up. Adding collagen and whatnot into your supplementation for sure to help with that. But like again, like I'm gonna be honest with you, for the most part, depending on how the loose skin came to fruition, it's sometimes something that you have to kind of deal with, if not get surgery. And I don't recommend getting surgery if it's not that bad. But again, if it's like some like if it's around your arms or whatever, I would say just make sure we're building muscle. For anybody who's losing fat, don't think I'm gonna lose fat first and then put on muscle. I want you to think putting on muscle all the time while losing fat. Yeah, we got a big question here. Appreciate you, James, and everyone else. Doesn't matter. Appreciate you no matter what. I've been training and cutting for about a year. I'm 5'4", went from 220. Nice. I've plateaued in gains. Weight loss is slowing down. Should I take a break and bulk or maintain? Okay, so again, with this question, I'm gonna give you I'm giving you as best as I can because I can't see, right? Your fat loss from 220 to 178 and you're 5'4", I can only just picture you're short, and that's a lot of weight to have on that frame of a body. And 5'4", 178, unless you have a lot of muscle, you probably still have some fat to come off. And if your weight is plateaued, a couple of things. Best case scenario is that you've been taking your time, with the calories you decide to put that's making you in a deficit, and that you've been able to just kind of shave off calories a little bit or adding cardio, and now that you've stalled, there's still room for the cardio to go up or for the calories to still go down. The other scenario, which I hope isn't, is that, and is a scenario that I have to deal with all the time, is that the person themselves dropped the calories way too fast and dropped weight, excessive, like, pretty quick. And then, and they're doing too much exercise. And then now that they've basically slowed their entire metabolism down, in the sense that that's basically what's happened. The metabolism slowed down, right? Because your body, I'm glad these questions come up about nutrition, because I did a video on that. But most of the reason why people plateau, if it's not the situation I just said right now, like when a bodybuilder goes through a prep, there is a plateau that happens, and then a good coach, myself, has set their prep up so that wherever they're plateaued at, there's still room to either decrease calories or increase output in terms of like cardio. What happens on the ladder is that that doesn't happen, and then all of a sudden now your metabolism slowed down, because when your body's, if you're not giving your body enough calories, your body is going to take in the calories and use the calories for the priorities. Your body needs those calories first, and then if it has energy left over, it will go to the sustaining of the muscle tissue that you've broken down in your training session, that and or losing fat. Your body, when it gets to a place of like, too many less calories and you're burning fat, your body's like, we're not getting enough, nutrients to be able to keep losing fat. So we're going to slow things down basically. And then the fat on our body that your body can use, it's going to be like, we're going to use that, but not a lot of that, because we need it, because we're not getting enough in. So again, that I'm hoping isn't the case. If the case is you took the time to, get yourself in a good caloric deficit, not crazy, not too extreme, and maybe you're not doing that much cardio, then if you've plateaued, I would say don't touch your food. If your calories are in a place where like, hey man, you haven't been doing much, I would say increase your cardio, right? And then you'll probably start losing again. I hope that answers your question. What? No, get out of here. I'm not reporting anybody. I'm just trying to find the next question. Oh, my bad. I'm trying to lose 6% body fat, and it's mostly around my midsection. What workout should I do, and how often should I do in the gym? I love these questions. You know why I love these questions? Because these questions are telling me that there's still not a lot of information out there that's being straightforward and not bullshitting everybody. That's a great question, Adrian. You can't spot reduce. No, it's nuts. I actually, on my Trello board for like video ideas, it's like, gym myths, and one of them is like spot reduction. We cannot spot reduce fat at all. The fat on your body, on your midsection, is where all men hold their fat. The saying goes, women are shaped like pears, men are shaped like apples. Why? Because women accumulate most of their fat around their hips and their thighs, where men accumulate most of their fat around their waist. So that kind of fat, 6% fat, can be, lost by doing more cardio or just being in a proper deficit. So if you're not, right now, if you're eating enough food and you're not doing that much cardio, I would urge you to do cardio, because your cardio is actually going to help you lose that fat, right? That's the exercise that is going to help you lose the fat on the stomach, is cardio. So I hope that gives you some insight. Guys, I gotta get off here in 7 minutes, because I said I'm gonna do an hour. So wait a minute. We're over an hour. I said 7 minutes, 7 more minutes and we're off here, guys. So get your questions in. I'm gonna do my best, but I'm gonna do this again. I might even do it tomorrow. Maybe, we'll see. Florida Core, you're my inspiration. Thank you, dude, I appreciate that. Hey, question, by the way. I got some test pieces of clothing that are coming in that I put some crazy thought behind, because for me, I want to wear stuff that I think people would like to wear. What are your thoughts on some oversized tees, tanks, and a jumps like a top and bottom crew neck and tapered pants? Let me know. Quick question. This is a good question everyone else is gonna want to hear. Hey Johnny, hope you're doing well, brother. Just want to ask, is it common to hit failure on an exercise without feeling a pump? Because I tend to not feel a pump when I do back workouts. Okay, so here's the thing. If you don't feel a pump and you're hitting failure, that means that our stimulus to fatigue ratio is way too high, right? The fatigue to stimulus is way too high. Whatever exercise you're doing is gassing you out before you can feel a pump. So we have to go back to the drawing board in terms of like how's your form, and or what exercise are you doing that's not allowing you to feel a pump, but you're getting tired, right? Failure means you're basically getting to a place like, failure is basically like, fatigue, right? You've been fatigued. How are you getting reaching fatigue? Is it because you're getting tired from where? What's making you tired? What's making you fatigue, right? Is your fatigue coming from a massive pump and an accumulation of lactic acid buildup, and then finally you can't lift anymore? Or is your fatigue coming from the exercise being either too heavy or the form not being that good, and then you're fatiguing in the joints before that? So that's what you have to understand when it comes to if you're not feeling a pump, but you're failing. Thank you for your work, man. Bless you. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. And we'll be chatting soon. Again, thank you guys for thank everyone here who donated. Thank you. I didn't realize that was actually even a thing. For those who didn't, thank you anyway. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Here's this question really quick. Hello, sir. What should you focus on while training the chest? The stretch or the contraction? I'm trying to build the inner part. So the contraction is, so when we talk about like negatives and positives and length and this and that, that's contraction, right? The concentric is a contraction. The eccentric is a contraction. The lengthened or the shortened are contractions. What you should be focused on is like feeling your chest, right? If you're trying to work the inside of your chest, you're gonna work the inside of your chest doing any exercise, right? If I do this to this, I'm working the inside of my chest. Full range of motion is gonna help work your entire chest. What you should be focused on is feeling your chest, period. If you can feel your chest, you're working your middle of your chest, right? Now, I can get a little further into it. Like I've tried doing some videos where, when I do like the little walkthrough videos where I'm talking about like what I'm doing, bench press, the incline, decline. I'm trying to show you guys what I'm focused on in order for me to feel said muscle group. So when it comes to like, chest and whatnot, I'm doing my best. What's really funny is I'm almost like playing a balancing act with the dumbbells or the barbell. I feel like when I feel the weight in my hand, automatically when the weight touches me here, I want to feel it here. Why? Because this is the extension of my chest is my hand, right? My chest can't lift the weight. My hand has to help me. So when I'm pressing on something, so like if you look literally, if you watch my chest right now, let me do this. If I take my hand like this, right? That little, and I can show you literally, this is how much I'm using my hand. I'm tapping, right, with my hand, right? So no matter what, as soon as there's weight put on my hand, I should automatically feel it in my chest, right? That's the kind of things that I think about or that I go through in terms of just being aware or conscious when I'm training. And that's some like really deep, muscle mind connection stuff there. But yeah. Is it bad that I'm getting sore from leg day for 4 days, or the sign that no, it could just mean that you had a crazy ass training day and you had some really good lift, or you're not eating enough to recover, right? Now, if you're eating enough, right, you're covering all your bases in terms of like, your protein, carbs, and fats, and you're eating enough food, and you're recovering, you're drinking water, all those things, and you feel sore for 4 days, you just might be smashing the shit out of your legs, and which is not a bad thing. As long as that pain or that soreness doesn't take away from your ability to train again, or causing you, issues in terms of like, injury, right? So when I see somebody loading 8 plates each side in a leg press and they're doing quarter reps for 3 reps, should I give them advice on lowering the weight? I feel like a jerk. So here's the way. Here's where you can do that, right? Here's a way to not make someone feel like you're being condescending or whatever. I do this all the time. I say, hey, that was a really good set, but can I show you a way that you might be able to feel it more? That's the best way to do it. Best protein source on a budget. Also, what's your recommendation cost-effective protein powder? Unfortunately, guys, like, I'm gonna say, like, hey, use my code and go to Blue Star Nutraceuticals. We have really, really good protein, really good protein. It's quality protein and it tastes really good, right? Those are 2 things I care about when it comes to protein. It's quality and it tastes good, right? It can be quality and taste like shit, and I'm not having the protein. But when it comes down to it, like, again, use my code, use Johnny, go link in the description. But protein powder has just become expensive. Back in the day, when I say back in the day, like 10 years ago, protein powder, they used to sell 10-pound buckets were $100. It used to be, right? If you're looking for protein powder, I'm gonna say Blue Star Nutraceuticals. Not just because I'm sponsored by them, because it's actually good protein and it's tasty, and you can get, you can save some money by using my code and going and getting it. But if anything, you want to get a good quality protein, and the cost shouldn't be the determining factor of whether or not it's good or not, or bad, right? So don't think because it's expensive that it's really good. But sometimes if it's really cheap, it's probably not that good. But again, like, think of protein as not just something. Protein is food. Protein is like buying chicken, right? Protein right now is like buying chicken, right? It is. It's like buying steak. It's like buying chicken. Protein is a food. So when it comes to, saving money on food, you might save more money buying protein powder than you will buying actual chicken from the store, right? I'm not saying swap out your actual chicken for protein. I'm saying that as much as you think that protein is expensive, this 5-pound bucket, if I took only, 1 scoop a day, is gonna last me a month. I just spent $27 on beef ribs yesterday. Like, $27 on beef ribs. That's a third of the cost of that bucket of protein, and that's gone. Like, those ribs are gonzo. They're really delicious, by the way, but they're gone. So think about that. Sorry for a long message. I couldn't go to the gym for a month due to shoulder injury and then getting sick right afterwards. I've been back in the gym for 2 weeks, but I still feel weak. How do you reckon this is? You're going to feel weak. You've been off for a bit, you're going to feel weak. That is a process that you have to be okay with, because you're going to be weak again. Because the whole process of progressive overload is going in weak and becoming strong, and then consciously being weak again and then becoming strong. So it's going to take, you have to be patient. Patience is, look, if you're in this game to build muscle and lose fat, you need to understand that why bodybuilders are so good at what we do, because we are professionals at accepting delayed gratification, period. So you just gotta be cool with that. Anyway, guys, I do have to boogie. I'd help a friend down the street carry something, because that's what people do. They're like, hey, you're big, you carry something. I'd help them out. I said help them out. But I thank you guys again. We'll do this again. Look, we'll do this tomorrow, okay? I said it, my word, tomorrow, 12 o'clock Eastern Atlantic time, 12 o'clock AST. Be there tomorrow. I'll actually put a link up so you guys know, so you can answer these questions tomorrow. And I'll see if I can get a moderator as well, so we can make sure I can answer these questions. So Save your questions. Thank you guys for everything. You guys know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.